All right, so let's go ahead and, if you will, briefly introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Rich White. I am a retired banker, a former CEO of a local community bank, and then part of a regional bank also. I'm currently retired. I'm a private investor. I look for opportunities to invest my money in other people's businesses.
Well, what motivated you, Rich, to kind of become an investor?
Well, after so many years in banking, I kind of knew what to look for, what would make people successful or more likely to be successful as they went out and started their own businesses. And then I had some capital that I could put into other people's businesses. If they had a good idea and the ability to manage those ideas, then I would feel comfortable, under the right circumstance, putting my money in their business.
And in your opinion, what are those right circumstances? In other words, what makes a business or a business person successful?
Well, I think first you got to look at the individual. And the individual not only has to have a great idea, but they've got to have some management skill also. I've seen a lot of good folks as a banker come in with a great idea and absolutely fail because they didn't have the discipline to manage or even the ability to manage. And it takes both, believe me.
Great. What do you think it takes to be a successful entrepreneur? I mean, you mentioned the word manager, but, manager is one element. What else is there to an entrepreneur?
Well, you've got to have the vision, first of all, of what you're trying to do. And you've got to make sure that that vision connects with the needs of those folks that are going to be your clients. I've seen a lot of good ideas, but nobody wanted them. You'd think they're good on the front end. So obviously it takes some testing to make sure that the idea is legitimate and there's a true need out there for that either product or service that your business is going to offer.
Can you apply that to a company, let's say a large company? Can you be, the phrase I've heard it referred to as an intrapreneur, somebody who essentially is an entrepreneur but exists within the context of a larger organization?
Oh, absolutely. Large organizations usually have a diverse array of products or services that they want to deliver to the public. And if we have an individual working within the company that has the creative mindset to go out and develop new product or new services that can be integrated into the existing portfolio of products, then certainly they can create a whole new line or lines of business for the company, which can be additional cash flow for that company. And I've seen it done many, many, many times.
Great. Now, what, in terms of the entrepreneur, what's the biggest challenge that they face when they're getting started?
Well, there's certainly the need for capital. You've got to have enough cash to get the job done. You've got to be able to project out how much cash you're really going to need and then have some contingency on top of that. So you've got to have capital. The next thing is you've got to have the creativity to come up with the product sets and the delivery systems for those products or services. And so we have to have an individual who's capable of putting on paper, mapping out a true business plan for what he wants to achieve, and then in turn what it's going to return back to either himself or other investors that are going to be with him. So we've got to have that ability to manage to the plan once the plan is created. So it's a multifaceted kind of thing that you've got to wear a lot of hats if you're going to be successful.
Now, you talk about kind of one individual, if you will, who's got this management responsibility at the start. What about from an ongoing perspective? Let's say 2-3 years out, you've had some success, you've gotten some capital, the business is going. What are the biggest challenges then?
Well, I've seen this happen many times, that folks outgrow their business, or the business outgrows the individual that started. And if they don't have enough vision and enough understanding to bring other folks in that have the ability to maintain the workflow, the product flow, whatever the case may be, there's certainly the business could be at risk once you grow to a certain level. And I've seen folks that didn't have the ability to bring in that additional layer of management or didn't have the confidence they could manage it themselves. Therefore, the business just simply outgrew them and the business crashed. It's a real shame to see that happen.
I'll bet.
You got to surround yourself with good people.
Now, you talk about people. Is it the people or the products or services that make the venture successful?
I will tell you point blank, it's the people. Now, you've got to be able to develop good products and services, but it's the people that have got to do it. They've got to recognize what services needed, what products needed, and then go forward from there. But it starts with people every time.
Now, you mentioned at the beginning that you're at a stage in life where you're really an investor. Would
Yes.
you consider yourself an angel investor, or what role do you play in the investment
I'm
community?
a greedy investor.
You're greedy.
Because the more money I make, the more money the owner's going to make too.
Okay.
And it's a win-win situation.
Are there any ventures? What are you investing in right now? What are you excited about?
I like businesses that can produce cash flow, first of all. As an investor, I want to make sure I get a return on my money. Right now, I'm in mortgage banking, where we had a company that was doing extremely well. They had outgrown their capital, therefore they needed more capital so they could continue to grow the business. So I was able to come in and inject X number of dollars for a certain percentage of the business. And that has allowed the business to grow from maybe 75 employees up now to over 100 employees.
Wow.
So it's been fun to do. We've got another company called Full Media, and I'm closely tied to that one since my son is the president. But first and foremost, I want to make sure he had a good, solid business plan, which he and his partners did, that they had the expertise and the understanding to develop the products and services they want to deliver into the market, and they had the follow-up skills to make sure that their clients were satisfied after the sales, so therefore they could get referrals from other future business. And so far, that company, Full Media, internet marketing company located in Gainesville, Georgia, has done extremely well. They started off working out of a small office. They've now grown to about 14 employees plus a number of interns. They've got clients in 22 states, and they're really moving along. Very pleased.
It sounds, it's very encouraging actually to also hear that, really over the last 3 years, it sounds like you've helped a couple of enterprises actually add somewhere close to 40 jobs from what I can tell. Which in this economy is impressive.
Well, it's been fun to do.
Yeah. Well, very good. The last question, it's a little bit of a wild hair, but part of our research and part of our assessment is to kind of look at inventions versus innovation. How would you define innovation?
I think innovation is the ability, in my opinion, to go out and recognize a true need that is out there, whether it's a product or a service, and then to develop those resources necessary to deliver that product into the marketplace. Innovators are just a key part of our economy, there's no question about that. And the ability to recognize the needs in the marketplace and then delivering those needs is key.
Very good. Well, thank you, Rich White. I appreciate your participating in this video chat.
All right. Thanks, Bill.